Alan, you want to read your Apollinaire poem that America hardly knows about?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking maybe seeing as I'm here, you know what I'll read, Gregory?
Your mother's poem?
No, I'm going to read
I would love
that.
you to say something very beautiful about
Death to Van Gogh's ear.
Yes.
To say something beautiful about what?
No, it's all right. It's clear.
Beautiful about what?
I think about us and what they've been saying that's making us
Yes.
like, a bunch of idiots. But I think that there is
Well, let
some
the poetry
rose
speak.
in it. Let the poetry speak.
Yeah.
All right.
The normal order, since I've been reading literary poems, I would next have read Apollinaire's Grave, an ode on Apollinaire's Grave, but I don't...
Give your name.
Ginsberg speaking
You have to
again.
raise up.
Ginsberg speaking again. Am I loud enough? Or shall I move this in? No,
Go
just
ahead,
don't
it
touch
is
anything. Okay. But no time, so now I'm going to read a 4-page poem called Death to Van Gogh's Ear, dedicated to the United States in the year 1959. Poet is priest. Money has destroyed the soul of America. Congress has broken through to the precipice of eternity, and the president has built a war machine which will vomit and rear up Russia out of Kansas. The American century betrayed by a mad cabinet which no longer sleeps with its wife. Franco has murdered Lorca, the fairy son of Whitman, just as Mayakovsky committed suicide to avoid Russia, just as Hart Crane, that distinguished Platonist, committed suicide to cave in the wrong side of America, just as millions of tons of human wheat were burned in secret caverns under the White House, while India starved and screamed and ate mad dogs full of rain, and mountains of eggs were reduced to powder and burned in the halls of Congress, and no God-fearing man will walk there again because of the stink of the rotten eggs of eternity. And the Indians of Chiapas continue to gnaw their vitaminless tortillas, and the Aborigines of Australia gibber in the eggless wilderness, and the Chinese have no eggs, and the Chinese poets have no eggs, and the paintings of France fall apart for lack of eggs, and I rarely have an egg for my breakfast, though my work requires infinite eggs to come to birth in eternity, and eggs should be eaten or given to their mothers, and the grief of the countless chickens of America is expressed in the screaming of her comedians over the radio. Now Detroit has built 1 million automobiles of rhinestones and phantoms, but I walk, and the Orient walks with me, all Africa walks, sooner or later North America will walk, and my father has bankrupted himself and missed the trip to Asia for a new model which will break down in 2 years in disgust, and now we will never fly to the moon in his lifetime. As we have driven the Chinese angel from out our door, so now he will drive us from the golden door of the future, and we have not cherished pity on Tanganyika, and Einstein was cursed for murmuring heavenly politics, and the immortal Chaplin has been driven from our shores with a rose in his teeth. We wanted his money, back taxes on his genius, and put him on trial for getting laid. And Bertrand Russell also got laid and was driven from New York before the war. And the virgin Allen Ginsberg was expelled from Columbia on the mere suspicion of getting laid. And a secret conspiracy by the Catholic Church in the basement of Congress has denied the use of contraceptive to the unceasing masses of India. And nobody publishes a word that is not the cowardly robot ravenings of a depraved mentality. And the day of the revolution of the true literature of the American body will be the day of revolution publication. The revolution of the sexy lamb, the only bloodless revolution that will give away corn. The Thieves' Journal by Genet will improve honesty on Madison Avenue. Lady Chatterley's Lover will improve relations in suburban bedrooms. Tropic of Cancer will make for honesty in English departments. Lord Rochester will save Broadway from its tragedy. Desaid amuse Iowa. And the heroine of Lao Tse and the sixth patriarch is punished by the electric chair. The poor sick junkies have nowhere to lay their heads. And the geniuses of our government have invented a cold turkey cure for addiction, as obsolete as the defense early warning radar system. I am the defense early warning radar system. I see nothing but bombs. I am not interested in preventing Asia from being Asia. And the governments of Russia and Asia will rise and fall, but Russia and Asia will not fall. And the government of America will also fall, but how can America fall? I doubt if anyone will really fall anymore except governments. Fortunately, all governments will fall. The only ones which won't fall are the good ones, and the good ones don't yet exist. But they have to begin existing. They exist in my poems. They exist in the death of the Russian and American governments. They exist in the death of Hart Crane and Mayakovsky. Now is the time for prophecy without death as a consequence. The universe will ultimately disappear. England has invented a panacea for junkies, and marijuana is a benevolent narcotic, but J. Edgar Hoover prefers his deathly scotch. McCarthy was always a hallucination, and the intellectuals will invent mightier bombs than Russia, while Hollywood will rot on the windmills of eternity. Hollywood, whose movies stuck in the throat of God. Yes, Hollywood will get what it deserves. Time. Now the Pentagon is building a dome bomb-proof storage house for souls. A committee of secrets demanding millionfold bankruptcy to raise up a carnivorous windmill at Los Alamos to outmonster the billions of Asia. History will make this poem prophetic and its awful silliness a hideous spiritual music. I have the moan of doves and the feather of ecstasy. Man cannot long endure the hunger of the cannibal abstract. War is abstract, the world will be destroyed, but I will die only for poetry. That will save the world. Industrialists are hysterical freaks. The monument to Sacco and Vanzetti not yet financed to ennoble Boston. The natives of Kenya tormented by idiot conmen from England. South Africa in the grip of the white fool. Korea belongs to Korea. Germany happy without bombs. Rachel Lindsay, Secretary of the Interior. Ho, Secretary of Imagination. Pound, Secretary of Economics. And Kra belongs to Kra. And Pakti to Pakti. Cross-fertilization of Bloch and Artaud. Atomic fission will warm the Malthusian heart of the West. Sudan irrigated. Beauty cities in Sahara. Van Gogh's ear on the currency. No more propaganda for monsters. Money is the monster pet. And poets should stay out of politics or become monstrous. I have become monstrous with politics. Undoubtedly the Russian poet equally monstrous in his secret notebook. For Russia belongs to Russia, Hungary to Hungary, Tibet.